What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How y'all doing out there in Fish Tank Land? Let's see. I was gonna wait a little bit to go live. I was planning on going live at 2:30. I could have sworn that's what I set the event for. But I see so many people in the chat already. I felt really bad. I figured I'd just come on and get in here. I was watching Koi Beta Fin Addicts because I was trying to let him have his stream time. And then I was going to go at 2:30 just to be fair and let him do his thing. But I see everybody in the chat and wondering where I'm at. So I don't know if I made a mistake and said 2 o'clock instead of 2:30. So here I am. Daryl Dimmer was first in the chat. It's good to see you here, man. Hope you're doing well. I have Honeybee, I have Jeremy, I have Mountaintop Fish, Joel Aquariums. And I'll be mispronouncing her name to myself, and it's Dila's Guppies. I was pronouncing it like Dilla or something else anyways. But I heard her pronounce it the other day, or this morning, and I realized I've been pronouncing it wrong. She's asking me, hello, is it still gonna happen? Is it still happening? Yes, I'm here now. Water Wizard, how are you? Good to see you here in the chat. Justin Shepard, welcome to the stream. I'm actually just kind of celebrating. It's a hard thing to celebrate. Lisa's Aquatics, hello, how are you? Not really celebrating, but kind of just kind of, I try to find the right word, but, you know, dealing with the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Irma in Maria. This time, 1 year ago, we were about 4 days into the aftermath of one of the largest hurricanes ever recorded by man, and with pretty much a direct hit. It's pretty insane. I read a fact the other day that said that in the lifetime of a hurricane, in a hurricane's lifetime, from when it starts to become a hurricane until it dies off, it expends the same amount of energy as 10,000 atomic or nuclear bombs, which I thought was pretty crazy. But it was definitely pretty brutal. It looked like an atomic bomb went off afterwards the next morning. It definitely hits your heart really hard when you wake up the next morning and your home and your island is completely and totally decimated down to just nothing. The leaves of the trees are vaporized. It's pretty insane. But we're all celebrating pretty much how tough we were and how hardcore we all were to stick it out and pull together hours after the storm and just start cleaning up the mess and clearing the streets and doing what we had to do to survive and take care of each other as one big island family. So it is pretty tough time right now. It's what everybody's talking about on island. We're having a couple little parties here or there, benefits for different nonprofit organizations that really helped out. I'm still on the nonprofit internet that was created as of Irma. It was created right afterwards as a form of emergency response and to give us some emergency response to help the fire department and the police department and everyone communicate when everything else was destroyed. So it's a wireless-based internet service provider, and it is free. Most of you might know that Susan from SLC Aquatics funded me, or through the GoFundMe that she had created for victims of Hurricane Irma. She sent me some funds, which helped me to acquire the satellite, or the antenna that I have still on my roof now, and helped me to get this internet rolling. And that's what I've been using for the last year. Which it means a lot to me, everyone out there that helped support me through this situation. Just all the support one way or the other with packages. Priscilla MK sent me a little care package. Jeremy from Sergeant Tank sent me a care package as well. And just all the really nice comments and all the support was incredible. It meant so much. I didn't, you know, like the community totally took a different level for me when that happened. I realized that there's really people out there that truly care, that there was truly a strong community here, not just you know, self-absorbed YouTubers making videos or whatever. You know, I just saw a deeper side of the whole thing. I think I was about 1,500 subscribers at that point. I was I'm not sure how many months in I was, but it definitely changed changed the way I looked at the community here on YouTube, the fish keeping community specifically, how powerful and how positive we all are. And no, I'm not in Puerto Rico. I'm in St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We were hit with direct hit from Hurricane Irma. Puerto Rico was hit with a direct hit from Maria, which was 2 weeks later. So we had a Category 5 and a Category 4 within 2 weeks. And pretty much direct hits right across the line, across all of us. It's pretty crazy stuff. But like I was saying, I just really wanted to say thank you to all of you that were really supportive throughout those times. And like I was saying, it made me look at the whole community on here in a completely different light. And then months later, well, in October, I managed to make my way to the aquatic experience and meet a lot of people that were supporting me along the way and giving me good comments and whatnot. And that was even another level for me. It took it to a completely other level at that point, going to the aquatic experience and meeting these people in person and realizing, you know, just getting to learn who some of these people were in person, real people, not just the content they create and their voice on YouTube, on the platform. So I know for a fact that this is an awesome, powerful community, and it's kind of an honor to be part of it. I know that there's a lot of funky little communities here on YouTube full of negativity and nastiness, and we are not one of them, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm really, really honored and proud to be part of the hashtag fish fan community, or just the fish keeping and aquarium hobby community here on YouTube. Like I've said it before, I've preached about it many times before, we are an example to the rest of YouTube on how to act, how to respect each other, how to support each other, and uplift each other, not tear each other apart and bring each other down, and feed off of negativity and drama. We are a really good example to the rest of YouTube, that's for sure. I think the fish keeping hobby itself, the whole community, the way fish keeping works as a hobby, I think is a really powerful and positive environment. You know, without YouTube, obviously, as fish keepers, we'd still be the people that we are. And even when it was before the internet and we just had fish clubs, it was still a positive community which supports each other and helps teach each other the correct way to care for these fish, these animals, and keep them alive. And so we're just a good community. It's a good thing. It's really awesome to be part of a fish keeping community. Living here on the islands, I really don't have anybody to share this stuff with. I don't have a fish club. I am the fish club. I am the fish doctor on the island. I'm the only one on the island that has all the medication and a stockpile of it to take care of my friends' fish tanks. Anybody that I know that does have like a fish tank. But there's no other fish nerds like me that have multiple aquariums and have the multi-tank syndrome. I'm all by myself here. So that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel in the very beginning, is to have a community, because I don't have one here on this little island that I live on. So I really wanted to reach out in one way or another and have my community. And you guys are my fish keeping community. You guys are my fish club. It means a lot to me. It's really cool to see River Life, Rack from River Life. It's good to see you in here. Thank you, Daryl Demmer, for that $10 super chat. That means the world to me. D from Down the Wormhole, I appreciated your stream. That was really nice. Good to see you this morning. So thank you for sharing. Lisa's Aquatics, good to see you. I think I already said that. But yeah, and I had to leave Koi Beta Fin Addicts. I had to leave his stream because you guys were wondering where I'm at and what I'm doing. So I had to hurry my butt up in here. I figured I'd start early. I was going to start at 2:30. I think that's how I had it posted on my event. But I think some people are used to me streaming at 2 o'clock. I've just been trying to like make some wiggle room, trying to respect other people that are trying to stream, like Koi Beta Fin Addicts. I wanted to kind of give him his hour. I don't want to overlap with him and pull people away from his stream, just out of respect. So the last couple of weeks I've been going to 2:30, and I hope that's okay with everybody. And you know, I would prefer to be on the hour at 2 o'clock. But like I said, I'm just trying to support everybody else and respect other people's space here on the platform. I think that's another beautiful thing, is we don't all try to step on each other here. We try to like give each other our space and our time to do our thing. And it's really nice. It looks like there's some other streams. I didn't write and take any notes, but Down the Wormhole had kind of created a little list there. It looks like we've got streams kind of back to back. I know Alluring Betas is going to be doing a stream later this afternoon, closer to this evening. I don't know if Corey from Aquarium Co-op is doing his stream tonight. He's been going back and forth on doing his live streams on Sunday. Who else was there? Was someone else going to do a live stream? I'm not sure if anybody else knows of anything else going on. Go ahead and put it in the chat. So let me go ahead. I don't know what I was going to do today, except I'm kind of like in limbo right now. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I have 31 people here watching. I appreciate all of you that watched my really crappy live stream. Honestly, I personally watched my live stream afterwards to see how it came across and how it buffers out after it's been recorded by YouTube. And I'm completely and totally embarrassed, honestly. I'm really, really frustrated with the quality of my live stream. I've been putting hundreds and hundreds, more like thousands of dollars into my hardware and stuff here. I've got a soundboard. I have a nice quality microphone. Lighting and everything that I've been putting into this. I just invested into the, where is it? It's here somewhere. The Elgato Cam Link, which is made by a company called Elgato, which works with a lot of gaming software and hardware stuff. But that would work with my OBS, and that was like $150 just for that link that would take my Sony a6500 and make it a webcam. And I'm not able to use that because it turns out that my computer's system resources and the amount of RAM that I have for graphics is not enough. And so it comes across horrible. As you've seen, like 2 weeks ago, I tried to stream with that, and it was horrible. Priscilla MK, it's good to see you in here. Welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday. So I just want to apologize for how crappy my stream is right now, and I really appreciate all of you that have supported me through this and stick with me through this, because it will get better. My streams will get better. The quality of the stream will get better, and then I can relax and focus on content around my stream and not just ramble on or just recite chat. I prefer to actually have some content going. KG Cichlids, what's up? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to be negative towards my own stuff anymore, but yeah, I've just been frustrated with the quality of my stream, and don't worry. You know, with 33 or 34 people in here, that is really awesome. I really, 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 really appreciate all of you that stick with this crummy stream that's all pixelated, and I look like probably Legos sometimes even. So just don't worry, it'll get better. It's gonna get super, super a lot better. So what I got coming now is I have a friend, a computer nerd that I've been forced to reach out to that I really didn't know before this whole situation in St. Thomas. I met him through a friend, and he builds computers for graphics and for video editing. And he has 5 right now, and he says he's offering to sell me one of his graphic editing computers, and he said, based on what I have in this computer here, all I'm really missing is a quality graphics card right now. I've been working with onboard graphics, and he says that's what's wrong, and he swears by that. So he's giving me or selling it to me. He's gonna let me borrow it and try it out and see if it works. But this week he's bringing over from the Big Island where he lives. He's bringing me over a graphics card that I'm gonna install into this computer, and we're gonna see if that will make it possible for OBS to come across nice and crisp and clean. And then I can move over to my OBS, which I've used before in past live streams, and I can incorporate a lot of different elements. I'm gonna start using the Streamlab OBS and use my Sony a6500 as a webcam, which is gonna come across at 60 frames per second, 4K at 1080p. It's gonna be beautiful. I'll really be stepping up my game here. It's just been baby steps for me. But let's see. Alluring Betas, what's up? Welcome to the chat. It's good to see you in here. Good to see all of you guys in here. It really does mean a lot to me to have 33, 34 of you all up in here and supporting my stream. And once again, Daryl Dimmer, thank you again for that super chat. I appreciate your support, always supporting me. And me and Daryl Dimmer are gonna be roomies at the Aquatic Experience in New Jersey this year, which is coming up in a few months here, less than a few months, less than 2 months. But let me go ahead and make sure all my stuff is set up. I just wanted to give you guys, well, first, oh no, let's get rid of that. Let's see, let me go ahead and we're gonna do screen share real quick. And just a real quickie, we can take a look here. This is what's going on right now. Not to do the weather report here on a Sunday, but I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but these two formations out here, which are turning a very cyclonic activity and are turning into a category, well, I don't know what they're going to be, but since I am on here like this is the latest satellite imagery from NOAA, which I don't think that this is going to be illegal to show this or copyright issue. I'm not sure, but this is currently what we're looking at right now. Looking at these two activities, these two formations here, and they're coming directly at us. That's where I'm at right there. That's my island that I'm pointing at right there. And obviously that went north of us, so we're clear on that. That's going to come hitting the coastline there of the United States, unfortunately. But these two formations here off the coast of Africa are a little spooky. Looks like they could be going north of us. They might be pushing north, but there's not a lot of activity down here to push them north. I'm more worried about the larger one, the second one. It's growing even bigger than the first one, and it's farther away, so it can start to really slow down. And depending on how it reacts, it can spin and like do a little bit of English, like a cue ball, and it could spin and go down. It could do a lot of crazy things. It could spin and go up. Hopefully they go north or they go south of us. It looks like they might go south of us is what the predictions are saying, but that scares me more than it going north, because when they say that it's going to go south, it always tends to go a little bit more north than they predict, so that would put it right on us. So I've been stocking up on water and canned goods and stuff, just because it's what you got to do. You have to be prepared and be ready for it, but that's the plan there with that. Is just trying to keep up and keep ready for whatever could come our way with that. Where did I go with the, oh, here we go. But now let me change this up. I wanted to show you guys some stuff real quick. This is some footage. I just want to give you an idea of what we were dealing with a year ago today. This is what I saw the next morning when I woke up, pretty much. Everything completely destroyed, houses ripped apart, most of the roofs torn off the tops, trees is blown away, every leaf of every tree was completely vaporized and gone. That was one of our customs offices completely demolished. That's our post office in the background. Luckily the post office stayed together. This is literally this is everybody walking down to our first community meeting after the hurricane to kind of figure out what we were going to do to talk about things. So I'm just scrolling through this pretty fast, and I cannot see the chat as I'm doing this because I'm doing, I'm not using OBS or Streamlabs, so I'm missing the chat right now. So if you have any questions, I'm sorry I can't see them or any comments. But I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly and give you guys an idea of, and this isn't really good examples of the, this is a friend of mine's boat. He's trying to get into a dinner boat, and ended up crashed right up into the national park office dock, and was, but this is what you were seeing everywhere you went. The next morning, everywhere you went were sheet metal, just torn sheet metal, pieces of wood with screws and nails sticking out of them, and broken glass, trees, and just wood fiber and leaves everywhere on the ground. Pretty brutal. This is a friend of mine's restaurant, which no longer, well, is new now, but Kenny Chesney rebuilt the restaurant, but completely flattened the restaurant. That was a restaurant right there on the left-hand side, completely gone. It's a good friend of mine. She let us stay in her house or on the property with her for the storm, which was really awesome because part of my roof got ripped off in the storm. This was our first meeting where the community came together to figure out what. This is just the ones about. There was nothing else to do. We all wanted questions. We all wanted to know what we were going to do next, and it was pretty intense. Pretty intense day. Everybody was in shock. This is the first examples of the government showing up on island to assess. These are some of the first responders. Just some of the first responders that stepped onto the island off of some military vehicle, helicopters, to come assess the damage and see what was, where we were at. And that's pretty much what it was for the first week, which is hundreds and hundreds of helicopters flying over the top and taking pictures and trying to figure out what we were going to do next, what they were going to do, how they were going to help us, just to see how bad it really was. Obviously, this is a task force from Virginia, which was flown in. People from around the world came to help. It's crazy. But I live right down the street from this ball field, so all I heard all day long were helicopters. That's the fire department. Our fire department's roof was completely compromised. It still has blue tarps on it and hasn't been fixed yet, 1 year later. This is the group of people that I stayed with. We were all handpicked. A lot of people here were ex-military, Vietnam vets, and EMTs and doctors. And it was a nice mix of, and search and rescue team, people that had a lot of training, and they handpicked our group off the island. There was a lot of different people that got chosen to be in this little group, and we were very, very well equipped. And the next morning after the storm, a lot of us took out the next day with, I was out with the group the next morning at 5 o'clock. We couldn't wait. We were itching to leave the property, and we had curfew and we couldn't leave. But we went out with harnesses on, with all of our gear, ropes and first aid and water and first aid stuff like that, and went house to house searching for people, making sure everybody was okay, making sure nobody was injured. This is like this was like a nice moment just to kind of calm us down, We got a nice sunset. All the palm trees are completely destroyed. It was a nice sunset to kind of just remind us that it's not completely horrible, and that we would get through it, Just a beautiful sunset that night, and I think everybody was a little captivated by it. This is probably 3 or 4 days after the storm. Every day we would have 3 meetings a day. We would have a meeting in the morning in this group that I was with on this property. We would meet in the morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock and have a group meeting, decide what we were doing for the day, what important things were going to happen, how we were going to handle certain things, what other people were doing, how we could help out in whatever way we could help out. And then at lunch there would be a meeting, and at dinner before we went to bed, after our dinner, right before we had a nice little, we had like a little potluck dinner here, we'd all meet. So three times a day, and that was the kind of the rule. If you wanted to stay on that property, you had to have a job, be doing something to volunteer or support the property, and you had to be at those meetings 3 times a day. And this is pretty solid project we had going up there on the property, and this is a view from that property still overlooking our town. This is Virgin Gorda, or sorry, Tortola, which is the British Virgin Island north of us. I went on a search and rescue mission for one of my friend's fathers, which was found to be deceased 2 weeks later. He was one of the 2 people that died, and but we went to the islands north of us and circumnavigated our island searching for his father, who was on a sailing vessel. But this is all used to be green. It all used to be green and beautiful. This looks like an atomic bomb went off. Just completely just vaporized everything. All these boats used to be in the water, half of them anyways. This one catamaran, we pulled up, and we find it on the roof of a building. The waves were so high, it literally lifted it up and dropped it down on the roof of a building. Pretty insane, pretty powerful storm. This was a very popular bar, Pusser's Bar at Pusser's Landing in Tortola and Road Town, and completely decimated, completely gone. Nothing but rubble. This was my friend here who had lost his father, a good friend of mine, and we were on a search and rescue mission on this boat, looking for his father or any remnants of the boat that his father was on. This is where boats usually go to hide out in a storm, which became one massive graveyard for boats in the end. All the boats pretty much made their way on the beach and piled up on top of each other. You're out. This is part of the search and rescue mission looking for my friend's father. It's funny how some of these boats were just sitting pretty, like nothing ever happened to them. It was crazy, while the rest of them were destroyed. It's all about where you were at and the wind direction and stuff like that. Let's see. I'm just flipping through this pretty fast. I'm going to get back to the chat. I can't really see what anybody is saying right now. It's kind of emotional to look at some of this stuff, but it was really unfortunate, and I'm just happy that it's past us, and it was just really beautiful to see how everybody came together and worked really hard to support each other and keep each other fed, and to help each other find clothes and to have shelter, and deal with the PTSD that some people suffered from in regards to being like hiding under a piece of wood for 5 hours, or crawling under a building, or hugging a tree, as some people were, just waiting. And you see the helicopter up here, and up here, the island was like a war zone afterwards. All it was helicopters all day long. Every kind of crazy helicopter, ospreys, everything, all day long. That's all you could hear were helicopters and helicopters. It felt like we were in the middle of a war zone. Just most of these houses don't have rooftops. 80% of all structures on the island. This is the main Westin resort. Most of the rooftops were destroyed here. Most all the boats that were in the bay were on the beach, were flipped upside down and sunk. It's pretty brutal stuff. Very unfortunate. But human nature is a really powerful thing. But I also think that humans are really resilient creatures as well. You know, we're like you look at ants. When you mess up an ant's nest or something, an ant's colony, they're going to turn around right away and start cleaning up the mess and fixing things. That's how humans are too. I mean, we're very resilient. Next day, all you do is you get up and you start taking care of each other and start cleaning up the mess. There's nothing. There's no other option really. You can't sit around and cry about it. You just got to get up there and take care of it. Now, this was our customs office. So, United States Customs Office. If you come to this island from another country or whatnot, you have to go through this facility. And it looked like a tornado just ran right down through the center of it and just ate it out completely. It's completely gutted out and hollowed out. My friend's boat again on the dock. That's the National Park headquarters and visitor center. This is where all of the evacuees left from here. We had about 4,000 people leave the island within within 2 weeks. It was a mass exodus of people off the island, and they all left from this dock right here. This is the military on site with their awesome air-conditioned tents. And there's that again. Anyways, all right, hope that didn't put everybody to sleep. Alluring Betas, thank you for that $9.99 super chat. All right, hope that didn't put everybody to sleep. I didn't lose everybody. I still have 33 viewers, 34 viewers. Wow, I did not scare everybody away with such drama and nastiness. That was pretty. Actually, it was pretty torturous to see, Jason. To see the, we're just trying to survive, getting eaten by mosquitoes. You had two options. You either you sweated to death, you put the word free in there so it didn't, oh yeah, it's not gonna let me do that. Okay, so let's see, but what was I gonna say? I totally lost track of what I was saying. I don't know. It was rough, but we're all here and we're all still together and everything's fine. I think right now we're just all worried about the next one and trying not to worry about it. It's way too far away, honestly, for any of us to stress out about it. The key is just always be prepared. But September is the peak hurricane month for the Caribbean. Just for the season, hurricane season, September is the peak month. So at this point, we're all on high alert. And, I've got cases and cases of water outside of my house. On my stairwell, I've got cases of water inside my house. I do have my RODI system, and I'm creating my own water as well with that, which I never thought I'd be using it for a hurricane kind of situation. But I have been creating some gallons and gallons of that I'm going to be storing up, especially when the storm gets close. I'll be storing up 10 or 20 gallons at least of some really clean RODI water, which I will save obviously for the fish if there were to be an issue and I need that water. It would be for the tanks to get them through the hard times there until we get water back on the island. So I'm looking at the stream now. I can see the chat. So if anybody has any questions or anything, it's basically what I was getting at there. I just wanted to, just not celebrating, but I'm just remembering the hard times that we went through, and it was pretty rough. I think what I was saying, oh yeah, you had two options. Either you could sweat all night with a sheet over you and a blanket over you to keep the mosquitoes off of you, or you got eaten alive by mosquitoes and you didn't sweat. You kind of had two options. It was really, really brutal. I actually slept in my car for about a week and a half because it was the only way to get away from the mosquitoes, and you could kind of get some AC. You could run the car every couple of hours and cool the inside of the car off a little bit, and then turn the car back off and lock yourself inside of it to be safe. And I found that to be very enjoyable. No mosquitoes and a little bit of air conditioning, and we didn't burn up a lot of gas. So the car was like a hotel room at that point compared to trying to survive here on the island after the storms. I see the question there. That's the other thing. If you have questions for me, everybody's saying hello to me. Am I looking at the top of the chat? Let's see. Yeah, if you do have questions for me, if you put a question mark, it's like when I scan the chat, I don't like to just recite everything in the chat. But if I see something with a question mark on the end of it, then I know, I kind of like keep my eye looking for the question marks. So if you have a question, put a question mark at the end of your sentence, and I will definitely answer your questions. But Filter Media says, do you need to remineralize that RO water? Yes, I definitely remineralize it. My TDS is down to about 1 or 2, actually 0 if I keep when my RO membrane is fresh. It's about 0 a TDS. So yeah, I wouldn't be drinking that myself. It'd be for my tanks. I have Caridina shrimp tanks, which require very, very, very low TDS. I have a lot of fish that I brought in from Peru, which in the wild, their TDS is about 12 to 15 parts per million. So they require RODI water. But I do add calcium and magnesium back into the water, and some other minerals and supplements and fertilizers for the plants. So, but it's nice to have that base. That's what I think some people forget about when it comes to being able to read TDS. It's almost impossible to reading the TDS unless you're starting out with RODI water. Kind of is almost pointless to a certain extent, unless you're going to also test hardness and other stuff on top of that, because TDS just says how many parts per million. It doesn't tell you what those parts per million are. But if you start out with 0 parts per million and you remineralize the water with with buffers and things like that, now you know what that TDS is. You know what those parts per million are, what exactly they are, whether they're calcium or magnesium or iron or phosphate or nitrogen or whatever that you're putting into that. So that's one thing that's really important to me when it comes to fish keeping, in mineralizing the water and adding supplements and buffers to the water. If you're not starting out with RO water, that TDS test is very, very, very vague. 350 parts per million is my tap water, but it's 350 parts per million of what? 350 parts per million of like iron, because I know we have old rusty pipes here, so I'm pretty sure most of that is iron. I see my filters, my sediment filters that I run it through before it goes into my RODI system, and they're red. So it's a combination of like red clay sediment and am I ignoring Tokis, or I can't see. I haven't been able to, I haven't viewed any of those things, but thank you, Daryl Dimmer. I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't really work that way, sorry. Oh, wow. things happen over time, and that's the first for me, I guess. But then again, anyways, let's see. But you guys get what I'm talking about. You know, if you got TDS and you're testing your TDS, if you don't already have starting out with a baseline of something, and you know where you're at, then you don't know what exactly you're testing, what your TDS is, what your parts per million are, right? So that's where I'm at. So that's a really long, drawn-out answer to that question. And I want to say that I can show you my tanks. I want to show you my tanks. Problem is I don't want to switch microphones because I don't know. I end up having problems with Hangouts, and it messes with stuff if I start switching around microphones, because what I'd want to do is switch to the microphone on my webcam so that you can hear me while I'm walking around, because I can't take this microphone with me. But I want to show you the tanks. I have 7 tanks here right behind me, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more in the kitchen, and then I have 4 tanks that aren't even set up right now. I'm about to build another rack. What I will tell you is I want to just keep it chill and stay right here on the chat with you, just to be honest right now, just to keep it simple, and because I'm so like sketched out about things messing up on me. I'm just happy that my stream is flowing nice and that there's 35 of you guys in here hanging out with me, which means so much to me. But I will be putting out my video tomorrow of the unboxing of all the fish from Peru that Dean Tweedell sent to me. I received 4 species of fish. I received an Apistogramma rubelliniatus. I received a CW109 Corridora. Not one of them, but a group of them. I also received what people know as the black neon tetra, or the black bar tetra, or black belt tetra, but I think most people know it as the black neon tetra. I received a group of those as well, and then 2 bumblebee catfish. So the Corridoras and the bumblebee catfish are in this blackwater aquarium behind me with the the breeding pair of angelfish that I already had. And there's plenty of West Indian almond leaves in there, and tannins are really strong, nice blackwater aquarium. But all of these tanks that with fish from Peru, I'm having to keep my TDS as low as possible, under 50 if I can, because they are wild caught. In order to get them to breed, I'm going to have to recreate those parameters in order for them to be happy enough to want to breed. So I have to get really close to that when it comes to breeding them. So, and like I said, the water parameters for most of the places that we were at in Peru was about 12 to 15 parts per million was the TDS, and the pH was somewhere between 6.5 and 6.8. It's really, really clean water, really clean water. So I'm really happy that I have the RLDI system. I got it just in time for all these fish. Let me see any other things. Yeah, but honeybee, yes, the video will come out tomorrow about 10 o'clock in the morning. What I've been having problems with is my computer. I've been using an open source software application to edit for the whole year and 3 months or whatever that I've been on YouTube. I've been using HitFilms 4 Express and the free version of that. So it's an open source free video editing software, which is pretty decent, but and it's been working for me obviously up until now, but combined with the lack of graphics card and just it's not a perfect application, it freezes up now. Every time I pull in a piece of footage into the software application, my whole computer freezes up and I have to reboot. And if I'm lucky, it saved the changes that I did on the piece of film that was editing on. Half the time, I have to go back in and I have to re-edit all this stuff up until I last saved the file. I have to go back up and redo everything I just did. And I'll tell you, that is so frustrating, because to me, filmmaking is art. And when you fine-tune where you're going to cut that piece of film, listening to it, the clicks and the clacks and the little noises, and you find, okay, I'm going to cut it right there. And you go through all that 4 or 5 steps and cuts and moves of pieces of film, and then the whole computer freezes up, and you lose all that, and you got to go back and do it all over again, and do that 3 times in a row. And you're just ready to turn your computer off and walk away. And I'll be completely honest, that's what's been happening to me. So just yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I finally gave in and I downloaded Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm paying monthly for that now. So so now my weak link is just a new graphics card. So once I get the graphics card on this computer this week, I'll be able to edit properly with Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'll be able to do the live stream through my OBS, hopefully. Now I'm just praying that all this works out properly. Everybody can pray for me as well. So it seems like my weak link is just this this card now, this graphics card. So besides that, that's where I'm at. But I've been working, still trying to get through this piece, which I started on the old software suite, the editing suite, the HitFilms 4. And I've been just trying to get through it, and it's been frustrating me. I've had to put it down and walk away so many times because I lose all of my work. And I finally have it fine-tuned. It just rendered the piece. I'm going to go make a thumbnail. I'm going to upload it. So my unboxing of the 4 species of fish from Peru will come out tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And then I'm also starting a series, because of having to quarantine all of these fish, I'm starting a series this week that'll be about a 5 or 6 part series of all the medications that I like to use to treat my fish with and to do quarantining processes with. So I'm going to go through salt, erythromycin general cure, which is Quetzalcoatl and levamisole. I'm sorry, Quetzalcoatl and metronidazole and levamisole and ICX. So what is that? Salt, erythromycin general cure, levamisole, and ICX. So it's basically a 5-part series. And I'll just go over individually those medications, how I use them, what they're made of, what they specifically work for. And so I hope that that can help some of you guys out in your hobby and with your fish. And, you know, obviously for me, the most important thing that I start with is salt. That's what I always go with first. Even with the fish we collected from the wild, as soon as we got them back to the house, you know, and back to our base camp, they were put into a bowl of water with salt. And that was the #1 and the first course of action with any fish is salt, as far as I'm concerned. Honestly, you can get rid of ick on a fish with just raising the water temperature and doing salt. But I'll get into all that in detail. Video will be coming out this week, probably Wednesday or Friday of this week. I'll have my video out on the different kinds of salts that I use and how I use them. And then we'll go from there on that series of medications and whatnot. Let's see. I'm trying to check out these. Let's see. Looking for questions real quick. Somebody keeps asking Tokies if it keeps fish. Okay. Let's see. Jason, are you going to do a live about meds? Honestly, I've been studying a lot about creating content here on YouTube. I'm working with a lot of bigger YouTubers to do this properly. And one of the key rules is don't do something live you can make a video out of, because I get a lot more views out of a video than I do out of a live stream. So it's not good for me to talk about something live that I can make a video out of. It's much better for me to make a video about it. Plus, you can replay it and watch it over and over again, and it's crisp and clean and to the point, not going to be choppy. And like I said, you can watch it over and over again until you get the information that you're looking for out of it. So no, I will not be doing a live stream in regards to meds, but the video will be out on Wednesday on salt specifically. Jason, I don't know what your question was. What was the PPT of the salt? I don't know what you meant by PPT. What is PPT? I feel stupid, but I don't know what that stands for. Let's see. Well, something like that might be interesting. A live hangouts added to the playlist, possibly. Possibly that might get it some more views by putting it into a playlist. Okay, did you use salt with the cories? Yes, we did, because it's when you're pulling out of the wild, you know, corydoras and lots of catfish don't like salt. So in a situation like that, you might use less salt rather than 5 grams per liter. You might want to do something more like 1 or 2 grams per liter of salt for the catfish, because they are very sensitive to salt. So that is something to think about. Every fish is different, right? So you want to know and research and know what you're doing when you do this stuff. You know, I'm not saying all fish need a certain thing. Definitely the corydoras did get a salt bath like everybody else, and they all survived. If anything, the corydoras seem to be pretty hardy compared to some of the other species that we collected that should have taken salt even better and more easily than cories. But the cories got salt. I just think we gave them a little bit. We gave them less salt than we gave the other fish. But the salt really at that point is just to get the parasites off the outside of their body. Salt's really good for just shriveling up and just curdling up those parasites. They literally, you can almost watch parasites and ick fall off of a fish when you give it a salt bath. It will literally start to fluff off of the fish like right before your very eye. It's pretty awesome. I've done it before myself. I've done it with fish that I've rescued and saved that were covered in ick, and you give them a salt bath. And the salt bath to me is like 5 to 10 minutes at a high quantity. Anything more than that or any more time than that, and you could probably kill the fish in that salt bath. It's a pretty quick thing. Honeybee, I'll be honest with you, Pimifix and Melifix are not my best friend at all. Now, the essential oils that they're made from are my best friends. Now, you have to keep in mind, if you read that label, you will see that API's Pimifix and Melifix, this is a big one for me, but the API Pimifix, not Primafix, it's Pimifix because it's made from pimenta oil, and Melifix is made from melaleuca oil. It's basically pimenta oil and melaleuca oil with an emulsifier that breaks the oil so that it's water soluble. That's all that they are. It's basically like going to your health food store and picking up essential oils or some kind of homeopathic essential oil product, okay? It is not medication. It should not be used as medication. Now, this is my personal opinion, and I truly believe that it is not, should never be used solely as medication. To me, it's more of a preventative thing. It's like a human taking echinacea pills. You take the echinacea before you're sick. Echinacea doesn't work if you're already sick. Echinacea you're supposed to take to boost your immune system so that you don't get sick. Okay, as an example. So you would want, if you're going to use Pimifix or Melifix, you're using it as like an essential organic preventative thing. You add that maybe to your water column as you go. Now, I have access to West Indian, to tea tree. I'm not tree tree, I'm sorry. I have access to West Indian bay leaf. And so I just go out and get the West Indian bay leaf, and I put the dry leaves into my tank, and that's how I get the pimenta oil into my aquariums with the actual raw leaf. But no, I would not recommend using Pimifix or Melifix as a medication. Not at all. I think people kill their fish with that. I think people put it in their tank and they see that it doesn't work, and then they add more, and then the fish actually just suffocates because they put so much oil into the water column that the fish cannot even absorb oxygen through its gills, and it actually is just suffocating at that point, and it's still suffering from the ick or whatever else it still has. Now, those essential oils are pretty powerful. I put tea tree oil on my face. I put tea tree oil on cuts. It does have, both of those oils have antibacterial properties, but I would not use them to treat an illness and solely. I would use salt first before I touch Pimifix or Melifix. If a fish is already sick, you need to go to medication. I would only, I'm gonna stop saying anything else about it, but I would only keep I don't even keep it around anymore. I keep the oils, and I make water that, if you can create water that is 11, 12, 13 a pH that's super, super high, super alkaline water is an emulsifier. So what you would want to do is create super high alkaline water, add the pimento oil, essential oil from the health food store, or the melaleuca oil from the health food store, add that to super alkaline water, and it will emulsify into the water, and then you can take a couple of drops of that. Like, I make it myself. I don't buy API, Melafix, or Pimifix. I keep the essential oils, and like I said, it's still something, a preventative measure that you want to put in the tank before your fish get sick. Now, other leaves, most all leaves have antibacterial properties on the outside of the leaf. It kind of helps the leaf keep from getting funguses and molds from growing on the leaf. It's just part of the plant's protective shield of its own. So many leaves, you could put many different kinds of leaves, as long as they're not poisonous to your fish. You could put those in your aquarium, and the oils from the leaf are going to eventually emulsify and dissolve into the water column, which will act as an antibacterial agent to keep different water funguses and other bacteria and stuff from growing in the water column. And that's what some people will use West Indian almond leaves for that. I personally like to get West Indian bay leaf, which is different from the Italian bay leaf tree, two totally different trees. Italian bay leaf is actually poisonous. West Indian bay is a spice bay, which is a totally different tree altogether. Different oil, different tree. Priscilla MK, I don't know if you caught that before. What fish do I have now from Peru? I have 8 CW109 corridoras. I have 2 bumblebee catfish. And then I have a group of Apistogramma rubelliniatus, which is a dwarf, Apistogramma dwarf cichlid. And then I also have a group of neon black neon tetra, neon black tetra, black bar tetras. I have a group of those as well. Let's see. Oh, honeybee. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's not really a waste of money. Use it as a preventative thing. When you do a water change, don't put a lot of it, because I said, like, you put too much essential oils or oils into your water column, that's going to affect anything. You put too much of anything in your water column, and it's going to affect how the fish are going to be able to intake oxygen into their gills, especially something like an oil that could coat their gills. That could actually get in the way of the absorption of oxygen. But I would it's not a bad thing to happen. Like I said, I use it, but I just drink it myself because I have the opportunity to create high alkaline water. But what I would do is keep it and use it preventatively, put it in your water column. It kind of replaces having the leaves. Like, if you don't have the opportunity to have those leaves in your tanks in nature, like they're found falling out of the trees in nature, in tropical environments where these fish come from, by putting a couple, 1 or 2 drops of that in your tank, you're actually replacing that. You know, you're like synthesizing the natural oils from the leaves getting into the water column and creating more of it makes it harder for certain bacteria to survive. So it's not a waste of money. Use it, but just don't use it as a medication. Don't try to cure a sick fish with ick or a sick fish with fungus. Go with salt first. Salt's is gonna do a lot more for you than Melafix or Pimifix with a fish that is actually visibly sick, with especially some topical skin funguses and things like that. Now, some kind of internal parasite, that stuff's not going to do anything for any of that. All Pimifix and Melafix is good for is reducing the ability for different water funguses to grow in the water and different topical things to grow on the outside of the fish. But neither of those are going to protect your fish from internal parasites, worms, and things like that. For me, West Indian almond leaves do not promote algae. One thing that I don't know that other people might not do, you definitely need to boil the leaves. I do boil all of my West Indian almond leaves before they go in the tank. I've noticed if I don't, I can get water funguses that will grow on the leaf that came from the leaf from nature, wherever I collected them from. So I always boil my leaves for a little bit. It pulls out some of the tannins, but you're not going to pull out all the tannins. Don't worry about that. But if you boil them, you're going to sterilize the leaf, and you're going to really reduce the possibility of different water funguses growing on the leaves. In regards to algae, once again, if those leaves are boiled, you're not introducing any algae into the tank. Now, you might be giving them algae some food, maybe, but I don't really think so. I don't think that, I don't know, I don't think that mulm and biodegrading leaf litter is really going to increase, promote algae. I think that the tannins in the water, if you have enough leaves in there, like my black water tank behind me, if anything, the tannins are going to cut the light and keep the photosynthesis from happening, and you're not going to be able to have algae because the water is too tea-colored for the light to penetrate and cause algae to grow. That's what I experienced with my black water tank. Algae could never grow in there. Brown algae, but that's diatoms, probably is what you're thinking. Usually the gold or brown colored algae is actually like diatoms and stuff. But I feel like that would be more about what's in your water column, like excess food and excess nutrients in the water column. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I really don't think that biodegrading leaf litter and like the mold from leaf litter is going to promote algae. Overfeeding and too much light is going to do a lot more damage and cause a lot more algae than leaf litter. Some people do use magnolia leaves. Yeah, magnolia leaves. I don't use them because there's not really a lot available for me. I use West Indian bay leaf, mango leaf, and West Indian almond leaf. Those are the 3 leaves that I can get readily, like literally outside my door, right outside my house. I can collect them. Actually, these are the leaves that are going to Priscilla and to Michael Trevino. I don't have, it turns out in India, they actually use like a $10,000, what's called a leaf press. That's what they use to flatten the leaves. That's why when you buy them off the internet, they come flat as a board. They actually use a leaf press. And I had to create a leaf press out of books. I did it the old-fashioned way with a bunch of books. But there's about 50 West Indian almond leaves here and about 50 plus more right here. But I've been pressing them under like 7 books for the last week after I dried them. So there's about 100 West Indian almond leaves, and this is going to Michael Trevino over at Mile High Plecos. Mile High Plecos, and Priscilla's getting some of these as well because I'm a little over 100 in here. I went over. I just wanted to give him extra. But that's going out this week. I think I'm gonna try to send it out tomorrow if I can get away with it. This weather and the Postal Service is acting funny about the storm coming in. Let's see. What do I'm sure that question is, what do Plecos eat? Plecos eat a lot of different things. Contrary to popular belief, Plecos do eat protein. They do want their protein. They do like a little protein in their diet, but they do also like a lot of wood fiber. I've noticed a lot of people complaining to me, telling me about their Plecos dying, and I ask them, did you have any like driftwood, any wood in there at all? And they're like, no, they didn't have any wood in there. The wood is actually a really important part of their diet. So I definitely recommend anybody who has Plecos to keep some kind of wood, driftwood, some sticks or something in there that they can chew on as well to just supplement their diet with some fiber. But also feed them protein. Some people just think that they're like an algae eater, as they want to call them. They don't need any, as long as they got a sucker face, they're an algae eater, and they just need algae. They'll eat algae off the glass, and you don't need to feed them. And then they wonder why they died, because they didn't actually feed them anything. I feed spirulina and algae wafers. So anytime I have like a Pleco like that, Plecostomus ancestris, something like that. But I also make sure there's always wood in there so that they can eat the wood. Let's see. Jason, you can order from me. I'm putting together a website. it's going to be like whatever, one of the websites. I'm going to have to, you know, make it in a template or whatever. Not an Etsy page or what is the other place? I don't know what it's called. I think it's like the same place that Priscilla has her stuff on, the same platform that she does her stuff on. But I'm putting together a website. I'm just putting together a catalog right now. But up until right now, you can definitely, you know me on Facebook. You can contact me at my personal Facebook page or my JH Aquatics Facebook page and do an order. You can also, if you have me on Instagram, then you can always send me across an order through Instagram, and I'll do it that way as well. I'm trying to get on the Twitter, I'm trying to get on board the whole Twitter thing, but I'm not quite there yet. So I was supposed to go on at 2:30 until 3:30, so I'm going to go until 3:30 still, even though I started a little bit early, just because I'm having fun in here, and I still have 29 of you guys hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the support, even knowing, you know, knowing what my stream kind of might look like on your side. It really is kind of embarrassing, but the fact that you guys are sticking out means that you guys want to watch and that you guys want to listen to it. So I'll keep going. But it means, I just want you all to know that it really means a lot to me that you have stuck out with me, stuck with me this whole time, stuck it out with me this whole time, and continued to support my channel and to continue to watch my live streams, even though my streams are choppy and blurry and funky. It really means a lot. It does, totally does. Yeah, Twitter. I've been told by a few people, you know, on the platform and stuff, they've been pushing me to use Twitter as well. You know, before YouTube, I just stayed away. I did everything I could to excommunicate myself from any of these social platforms, and even Facebook. I would go a month without posting something on Facebook. And then I started this YouTube channel, and I realized, I kind of got to get this stuff together. And then everybody would laugh at me, anybody I know personally, because I'd be asking them these really goofy questions about, like, Instagram and Twitter, and, like, really, really basic questions. And they're like, are you serious? You don't know anything about that? I'm like, I know, I've stayed away from it, but now I need to know it. Now I need to use it. Nacho Macho. I love that name. Nacho Macho 321. I'm almost jealous of that channel name. How big do the wild endlers you catch get? How big do the wild endlers that I catch get? The females get pretty big. They get pretty big. Now, I'm not going to call them endlers, and I'm not calling out Jimmy, but when Jimmy was in Hawaii, he was calling them endlers, and I know for a fact that they're not endlers. Jesse, you're in here too, and you were with them or not. I don't know if you got him on that, but he was calling them endlers, and I would bet a lot of money that they're none of it. That's not endlers. They're wild guppies, just like what I have. I've worked with Adrian AD, and I've done everything but do DNA tests on the guppies that I've found here. And according to everybody, all of the professionals and all of the hardcore nerds in the hobby, I have wild guppies. They're wild guppies. They've got all kinds of crazy little colors and patterns, but they are not endlers. Endlers breed true, and they come from South America. They look like they could be relatives of endlers, but they're mixed with guppy or something. They are not straight true. They have too much of a high fin on top. They're not. I wanted to think they were endlers. Believe me, I wanted to tell everybody that I found endlers here in the Virgin Islands, but they're not. The wild guppies here in the Virgin Islands that I've collected from the wild, they are pretty big. They are pretty big. The females are, obviously. The males are guppy size. Like an endler, that's another thing too, is endlers stay small. Males and females, for the most part, are much smaller in size. Like guppies can almost get twice as long as an endler, a complete wild endler that breeds true. But that's one of the biggest differences. Like if you go into the water and you're finding all these different guppies, they got kind of similar patterns, but they're all kind of crazy and wild and speckled and different things, and even get some purples and blues, some crazy little spots with silver rings around them and stuff like that. Those are what have been. Adrian AD is probably #1 in the hobby. He has a website, Adrian HD, and he has his own website. He actually sells, breeds, Class C, Class N, all these different Class Indlers. He's done a lot of research in DNA testing and stuff in the world of Indlers, and he's probably like, I don't know anybody else that knows more than him really about them and about their origins, and he goes over everything on his website and has pictures and listings and goes over it with multiple pictures. He doesn't just take a picture of one, he'll take a picture of a group and show you all of them. So you can see the variations and all that kind of stuff. I would check out his website. I don't want to get lost from here, but maybe I can pull it up real quick. Oh no. See, I shouldn't mess around with it. He's out there, and he's pretty well known. He's got a lot of people that quote his stuff. I think it's called Swamp River Aquatics is his website. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to click on that. It comes up second when you type in Adrian HD. And now for some reason my web browser is not doing anything for me. Wow, that's interesting. Anyways, Aquarius Central maybe, I'm not sure, but you can check it out. Check out Adrian HD. He knows his stuff about the Indlers, and I've spoken with him personally, sent him pictures, done everything but send him a guppy to do a DNA test on, and he says they're wild Indlers. I'm sorry, wild guppies, not Indlers. Let's see. You think they're different species, not quite guppies, not quite Indlers? I'm not sure. I want to say that they're just wild guppies. And pretty wild because they have crazy colors like purple and stuff in them. I see a lot of the Indlers that I find in the wild here have almost like a tiger Indler tail, but they also have crazy heavy greens and heavy purples and blues even in them as well, which is really cool to see in the wild. Let's see. Got about 5 or 10 minutes left here to chill out. Once again, I just appreciate all of you that stuck this out. 42 people watching. Are you serious? That's so awesome. And, you know, and all I want to do is apologize for such a crappy stream that I have. I know I'm just beating myself up, but I did set this one to super low latency, so maybe it's better than some of my other streams. But I appreciate all of you in here, all 42 of you that are watching. Know that this is going to get better. We're about to switch over to OBS, my Elgato stream, my Elgato cam link with my Sony a6500 as my webcam. That's going to completely kick this up to a whole nother level. I have a new graphics card coming in this week. I'm switching over to Adobe Premiere Pro. The combination of all these things is going to be a nice big step up for my whole channel. CKLI 38. Thank you for the two euros there. I appreciate that. Yeah, Elgato makes a lot of cool software. They most of their software designed for gaming. So obviously this is a way to hook up a high definition camera as your webcam. And like it's a lot of people use this when they're gaming, along with Streamlabs OBS or OBS to overlay over their games and stuff and really kick it up and make it high quality. They do have some other devices that I'm interested in as well. But this was recommended to me to get by Corey McElroy from Aquarium Co-op. And I try to take every recommendation he puts out there to me because he knows what he's talking about. And when he says I should probably do something, I don't know. I should take everything with, I do take everything with a little grain of salt, but he's had a lot of he's been through a lot of trials to try, you know, and tried all this stuff out, and he knows what works and what doesn't work. So he actually uses the Elgato Cam Link at this point as well. So I get that. I spent $150 with shipping for that to come in, and then it doesn't work because my computer is lagging with my graphics, onboard graphics. So, like I said, a friend of mine is going to be hooking me up with it's an NVIDIA Quattro card. It's an NVIDIA Quattro, so I don't know if that's a stack. If that's a stack of 4 cards, I don't know. I've been trying to learn all this new computer stuff. I'm a little behind. If anybody is really super, doesn't just think that they're a computer geek or nerd, someone out there that is really truly a computer nerd and is not just gonna pretend like they know what they're talking about, I would, because there's a lot of those people out there that want to give me advice and they think they know what they're talking about, but they kind of know, but they don't really know. I only want help from someone who like actually builds computers for a living, which I have a friend from St. Thomas that does that. He builds virtual machines and stuff, and machines for sailboats that do virtual video on their boats and stuff like that. So he's he knows his stuff, and like I said, he's offered to sell me 5 different computers that he has. But at the same time, right, Andy, right? I'm pretty good at that myself. I can do it quick. Give me 5 minutes. I can make that thing smoke and catch on fire. Yeah, this friend of mine though here on the other big island, he has 5 different video editing machines specifically built and designed to edit video, which is like, I was like, what? You serious? And Filter Media, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that $10 super chat. Oh, nice. I've taken apart a Volkswagen engine before. 50 coffee cans full of different bolts and nuts and stuff. That's rebuilding a Volkswagen engine. Whoa, that's a fun project. I think that's a learning experience for anybody, though. Like if you wanted to get into cars, start there. Get a Volkswagen engine, tear it apart, and put it back together. To me, that would be my. If anybody wanted to be a professional mechanic, I would say start there. Start there. That you'll learn a lot from that. And collect coffee cans for about 6 months before you start. That's my other advice. Label everything. Label every coffee can, keep a lid to it, and separate every nut and bolt and label everything. If you ever want to put that engine back together again. Let's see. I don't know where I was at with that. Let me check these but anyways, yeah, he's sending me over this awesome graphics card. I don't even know what it looks like. I do know it's, like I said, it's an NVIDIA Quattro. I don't know if it's like it's got like a 1060, 1080 or whatever it is. I don't know, but that should make everything run here. We'll see. We'll see. See what things look like next week. But I will be starting today or tomorrow. I'll be starting to work with my Adobe Premiere Pro, which I have used it before when I was younger. I had a bootleg. This time I didn't want to bootleg it. I'm trying to be on the up and up and be legal, and I want the customer service, the customer support that comes with it. And I just want to pay for it, get what I need. I don't want any more headaches. So I went ahead and I'm paying the $20 a month for Adobe Premiere Pro CC, I guess is what the version is. Which is the deal there. What are you saying? Oh, Andy's saying he's came from the fish store. Coffee. Drink coffee. drink coffee. Out of a coffee cup with fish. That'll help. drink coffee. Get a Red Bull. You'll get yourself a Monster or a Red Bull. Nacho Macho, I'm not sure. I can't really answer that question in regards to banjo cats. I am not very versed in banjo cats. So I'm just over my 1 hour, my one hour mark here. Let's see. Oh boy. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about? Let me go ahead and I don't know. I'm trying to lay low. I have about 3 or 4 people that have ordered some plants, some leaf litter, some West Indian almond leaves. I have 2 people that have ordered shrimp from me, my Caridina yellow King Kong shrimp. I have some rocks going out for Dank Tank. He's ordered 2 bundles of rocks to put into his new paludarium that he's got with the little river. The rocks that are in that river, I sent to him on the house with the t-shirt that he won for, I think it was my 3,000th sub mark. And that was crazy because that was like one of the last giveaways I did, and now I'm at 7,000 subs. So that is something I'm celebrating too. I'm celebrating 7,000 subscribers, of about 7,170 something today. And I'm really stoked about that. My goal was 10,000 subs before the aquatic experience. That was my goal. The only way I'm going to make that goal is if you guys share my content. Now, you guys can't share my content if I don't make content. So that's the other half of it, is I'm trying to get over this hurdle with my computer so I can get back to editing like I like to and start putting out 2 pieces a week in quality educational content that you should want to share with other people. So just that's one way that we can all help each other out. The best way to help someone's channel grow is to actually share their content with someone else. Like my Peru videos, I think that that's valuable content that might be entertaining for some people. So that's something that could be shared. But that's the best way that I've found that I've been able to help another channel grow, is not just to like their content or comment on their content, but if I can share it out to other friends of mine and create new subs that way, that's how you're going to grow. I've been thinking about playing with Reddit, but that's not, to me, not very organic when it comes to subscribers. And you might get subs that you don't want, people that want to leave weird, crazy comments. I want people that really want to watch my content to subscribe to me. I don't want to just get subs to get subs, and then you've got weirdos on your channel who don't even have fish tanks and leave you really horrible comments on your videos that make you question what you're doing for no reason. Jesse, the best way to order with me, because my website isn't up yet, I do own jhaquatics.com. I've been paying for it for 2 years. I own the URL. I'm holding it down. I'm working on the website catalog and getting all my pictures made up for it, and a full price list with catalog item numbers and everything that correlates. And but the best way to order, if you want anything from me, I do have specific pieces of driftwood, which I can show pictures of based on dimensions of what you're looking for. I have driftwood available. I have hardscape available. I do have really nice, they're from the ocean, but like little river rocks of like different gauges, different sizes. I have like really small ones. I can get to individual bigger ones. So I do have rocks for aquariums. I have hardscape, like a driftwood. And then I do have, I have lots of different dried botanicals that I'm offering. But right now, what I have collected and available right now is mango leaf, West Indian almond leaf, the West Indian bay leaf, which is Pimifix. It's pimento oil. It is the plant that they make pimento oil from. So the dried leaves in your aquarium, we're actually going to release pimento oil into your aquarium, which is going to act as an antibacterial. So I do have those 3 leaves for sure in my presence. Did I mention bay leaf? I mean mango leaf as well. And then I'm looking at some other cool little things. Seed pods is what is illegal. I have to be careful. Certain seed pods can't be sent in the mail. I do have banana palm that I can send you. I can't send the stem. That's illegal with the USDA. But I can send you the leaf that comes off of it, the palm frond that actually comes off of the main core. But the main core can house beetles, so according to the USDA, that is illegal. So I can send you banana leaf. I have tire palm, which is indigenous to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I can send you dried banana palm leaf, which shrimp love banana. That is a great one to feed to shrimp, and it makes for a nice addition to the leaf litter in a tank if you're doing a black water tank. Luckily, I can have like full palm fronds in my aquarium, which I'm about to put one in this black water tank, which is really cool to have this crazy big palm frond in there. But since I live here and I'm not sending it out anywhere, I can put that in my tank whenever I want. Yeah, I've never been included in the Three Amigos, well, as a guest anyways. And these angels there. I've never been on there. I hang out in there. I do enjoy their stream. I do enjoy them and Aquafunk. They're all cool guys. But yeah, we'll have to talk about that. You know, Andy, if you want to get a hold of me, you can always get a hold of me on JH Aquatics on Facebook, or Joseph Harden on Facebook, my 2 Facebook pages. Or I think we're also we also follow each other on Instagram. You can message me, private DM me on Instagram as well. Any of those places. I give out my email address, but that could just be dangerous. I mean, it is probably the description of all my videos, probably, but let's see. Dila's Guppies. Is it Dila? You said it a different way. Like I was just calling you something else, and the way you pronounce it is much more like Islamic, like Middle Eastern. And I guess you do have Middle Eastern blood. But the way you pronounced it sounds so much more exotic for that 4-letter name. Dila. Yeah, that's how I thought you pronounced it this morning. Which I was calling you Dilla. I was calling you Dilla, or at least that's how I was reading it in my head. Who's undercover? Right? Well, I don't think they're going to answer that. There is someone undercover. Undercover with who? USDA? That's all. I'm not even worried. I try to follow the rules. I've been researching the rules in regards to creating my website with dried botanicals and stuff. I've been trying to go over all the rules that are out there with the United States Department of Agriculture and the Customs Department and stuff, so that I don't start sending out boxes of leaves or something, and then they start getting caught, and, they start getting held up in customs and stuff like that. Or I get a fine for it or something, some major infraction for it or something. I don't want to deal with that. So, Nacho Macho, is that question to me? Neighbor, favorite fish you ever collected? No, we're talking about collected in the wild. For the most part, stuff that I've collected in the wild up until Peru was in Central America or here in the Caribbean, and that was pretty lame stuff. I mean, not lame, but like, guppies and different minnows and different kinds of, mosquito fish and stuff like that, and more other aquatic animals like frogs and turtles and stuff like that. But I have to say, it probably would have been something from Peru. That's a toughie. It would have to probably be some of the knife fish that I collected when I was in Peru. There was some really cool knife fish, not what you see in the hobby. There was some really cool, like zebra knife, I guess they call them, with like zebra stripes. There was some like transparent knife fish that were like a ghost or a glass catfish kind of looking things. Andy's Angels. Who just asked me that? Are you asking me if I've ever been down to South America? I was just in Peru last month. I just made 4 videos in a series about it. I hope you're not asking me if I've been to South America, Andy. Just came back from Peru, which is South America. Anyways, so when I was in Peru, yeah, the knife fish, there was like just like 100 different species of knife. I didn't realize there was that many different species of knife fish. Lots of different species of knife fish. But the striped ones and the transparent looking ones were really cool. Oh, Leona's in here. What's up, Leona? It's good to see you in here. Awesome. I think you've been in here, and I couldn't get used to the new name. You're always changing your name. Keep me on my toes. Keep me on my toes. South America. But the knife fish, yeah, knife fish, they were really cool. Okay, besides knife fish, though, I have to say the ancistrus, the gold ancistrus, was really cool. These green gold ancistrus, like a metallic gold, literally a metallic gold ancistrus. When the sun shines on it, it just looks like the thing was dipped in gold, like magical looking. Nothing you would see. It's like you just can't believe your eyes when you see them in person. And when you're in the river and you got one in your hand and the sun's shining down on it and it's all wet and the sun's shining on it and this thing is just metallic gold. I've never been to America. I was born there. IDC's being funny. Yeah, the gold ancistrus, I have to say that was probably the most amazing looking fish, besides the different knife fish. There were so many cool fish in Peru. The bumblebee cats, which I got to keep. In my last video, if you watch my videos in Peru, my last video that I did is when at the end of the video there, we're actually collecting those bumblebee cats, which we thought were wood cats, until they got back to the States up in Seattle, and Dean positively identified them as bumblebee cats, not wood cats. So, those are really cool looking with their white stripes on them, the white bands on them, the 2 white bands. And if I can get those on film, I will for you. They're hiding in the leaf litter and in the wood. I can't really, they don't come out. They're like, I think they're a nocturnal catfish. So I think most catfish are nocturnal. I'm not sure, but they come out at night, so I never really see them. And I can kind of like starve them for 2 days, and then put in an algae pellet or an algae wafer or a spirulina plate wafer, something like that, in the water where they hide out, and I can get them to come out and film them. But kind of tough to get them on film because they're kind of nocturnal, and then even if they do come out, it's hard to get them on film because it's dark. Let's see. Oh, I'm just going over here. This is gonna be great for my analytics. A nice 2-hour long live stream. At least there's like a lot of people, a decent amount of people hanging out and viewing it today. It's nice to have like 42 people at one point up in the stream. That's pretty awesome. I'm looking for questions. Any more questions? I'm going to go ahead and have to get out of here. And I don't know if I said thank you for that last. I did. Filter Media. I did catch you on that last live, that super chat. I do appreciate that super chat, Filter Media. I don't know. I don't remember for sure if I said something about that. But anyways, if there's not any other questions, I'm probably going to have to wrap it up here, just because I don't like to keep my streams too long. It starts to eat up your analytics and make the numbers start to look bad according to YouTube's platform the longer you go. All right, Filter Media. Yeah, you're right there. So anybody else streaming today? Let's see what else is going on. Andy's Angels, don't you normally do a stream on Sunday? Or am I mistaken about that? I'm trying to see who else is streaming today. I know that Alluring Betas is going to be doing a stream a little bit later this evening. Who else does it? Tonight, Multi-Tank Addiction is going to be really late, I believe, if he's still going to do a stream. He's been doing his Sunday streams. super duper late, or I don't know if he just completely cut that off and he's just doing that on Wednesday or something when he does that fish art series he's doing. Nacho Machos, you asked me what is my favorite native favorite native plant from the U.S. Virgin Islands? Aquatic? There really isn't. I have found a bacopa, what looks to be bacopa, but I tried to put it submersed. It was growing in the water, but on the edges of the water. And I found that in one spot next to a resort, and I think it was invasive. It came in from something or someone somehow with the resort, and it was only on that waterway. So only person ever found it. Now, I found some grasses that grow in the water on the edges of the water, but they all seem to grow out of the water. They don't really grow primarily under the water. As far as I'm concerned, there is no real native aquatic plants here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And that's another thing that I noticed when I was in Peru. There wasn't plants in Peru. I mean, we're talking black water, talking the Amazon. There's really not aquatic plants there. These biotopes are tea-colored water, very, very, very low visibility, super, super low TDS, medium to low pH, but just no plants. It's not the kind of environment where aquatic plants are going to grow. They're not going to be able to sustain themselves with photosynthesis anyways, because the tea-colored water is not going to allow the UV rays of the light to get in there and actually create photosynthesis, you know? So, but that's fine to me. I do love creating black water biotopes and brackish water biotopes because that's very limited when it comes to plants and stuff like that. But to me, that's just more of a challenge. It's saying, okay, you can't have this, you can't have this, you can't have this, you can't have this. Now, still make a beautiful aquascape out of it. You know, still scape that tank and make it look pretty, which to me is a great challenge. That's why I really love the black water biotopes. Is I believe that you can create a tank without one plant in it, like people do with cichlids every day. Create a tank without any plants in it and still make it aesthetically pleasing, and have it have some iwagami, have some feng shui or what's not to it, and be balanced to the eye and pleasing to look at without any plants. It's totally possible. Leaf litter, sticks and rocks is good enough. That's enough to work with. It's definitely a challenge. Jay, you're killing me. If you're falling asleep, you don't have to be here, Jay. You made me go to sleep with your stream last night, so I don't want to hear it. I had me watching your gameplay last night at 2:30 in the morning. Some gameplay, some freaking zombie apocalypse gameplay last night. I don't know how I got stuck in there, but I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep, and that put me back to sleep. Thanks. Oh, I said I was going to come back, but I couldn't come back. I was tired. But it was cool. That was an interesting game. I don't play any of that stuff, but I'll watch other people play it for a second. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and call it for 10 more minutes, just because we'll call it 4 o'clock on the dot. Did anybody else say anything in regards to other things? Andy, are you doing a stream today? I didn't see that. I thought that you do it. We changed Sundays to Wednesdays because we can't compete with football season. Oh, you guys in football. See, I don't even get, I've been seeing this, everybody's like, oh, football's on, oh, football. I don't watch any of that stuff. Sorry. I grew up in Mexico as a kid. I live in the tropics. I just don't keep up with American sports anymore. Sorry if that makes people not like me, but I like soccer and I like hockey, but I don't keep up on mainstream commercial American sports. To me, it's become all about the money, and I think the athletic side of it's kind of gotten a little lost, and they make too much money to do it for the love of it anymore, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just my personal opinion. I think they should pay them less, and maybe they'll play harder and stop crying about stuff. Even soccer players do that. Soccer players are actually the highest paid athletes in the world, still to this day, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. And they kill me They kill me. I love soccer, but they kill me when they start crying. They fall down like, oh, he hurt me. Oh, he hurt me. He didn't hurt you. Get up and stop crying. You're just trying to get a card pulled. This is bull. That's not sports to me. That's just playing games now. You know, be tough, run your butt off, kick that ball, keep going. Like, stop crying and stop playing games. Play the sport and be an athlete. That's why I like, if anything, the only American sport or football I would watch is college football, because they're not playing for money. They're playing for they're playing for school. They're not playing for money at that point. I think they play harder and they play with more passion, because it's not about the Benjamins. Speaking of that, we have Benjamin P here. Welcome to the stream. All right. Got 7 more minutes, and I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it. Priscilla, it's good to see you back in here. I don't know if you took off for a minute, but it's nice to see you back. Oh, Jordan is doing a stream now. See, that's what I thought. I knew somebody. Wait, Jordan is doing his stream right now? Is that right? The time to buy Jordan. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about somebody else. Ugh, what am I thinking of? Anyways, yeah, time to buy Jordans is now. Just do it. Priscilla, you're funny. You're funny. Yes, the shoes. I got it. I'm slow. I'm far removed from all this crap. I don't play around on the social media with all this stuff. I mean, I see a tiny bit of it, but that's one thing I do love about living in the Caribbean. I just stay away from all that stuff. It's all just a distraction to me from reality anyways. It's all just garbage to me. I'm sorry. No offense to anybody out there, but I'm glad that it's not in my face. It's just a distraction. I'm busy making YouTube videos and keeping my fish alive. I don't have time to watch all that garbage on TV and all this politics and superficial stuff that's really, to me, is just a distraction from the real world. There's a lot, I'd rather hang out with my friends and help my friends and take care of my family and my people and stuff. I don't really. There's a TV behind me there, but all we have here in this house is Netflix. We have an Amazon Fire Stick. So I don't watch television. I haven't watched mainstream television, cable television, in probably 15 plus years. I just I either get what I want on YouTube, on the internet, or Netflix or Hulu when it comes to a movie once it finally comes out, or a series or something that's on. So, and that's kind of where and I don't even have time for that. Sometimes I'll turn around for something that she's watching. I'm usually on my computer either watching one of y'all's streams or editing content or doing water changes. I probably watch something on that TV once or twice a week for an hour, and that's it. And I'm not missing anything. It's like drugs. It's like being sober now. I don't miss it. I do not miss it. I'm content. Glad I don't miss it. Anyways, enough of that. But yeah, maybe it's a good time to buy some Nikes, huh? Or buy some Jordans. Oh. Sacrifice everything. Right? Is that how it goes? Is that the new slogan? Just do it. Sacrifice everything. You have to sacrifice everything. That's what I do for my YouTube channel. I sacrifice it all. Let's see. Nacho Macho's asked me, do I plan on making a saltwater tank? I do not plan on doing saltwater, and the reason for that. Potato, what's up in the house? Good to see you. Good to see you up in here. I'm good. Room with tanks. Yes, we're talking about last year's hurricane is what I started the whole stream on, and just going over all the HELL that I went through and the struggle and the post-apocalyptic 2 months that I had to survive in blah 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 and live out of a cooler and bottled water and do my laundry in my shower and hang them on the roof and all that goodness. Yeah. Priscilla, take care. Have a good one. I hope to see you around. Looking forward to one of your streams soon with some art. JB, all right, see you later. I'm about out of here in about 3 minutes. I'm shutting it down. But what was that question? What was the question I just saw? Totally distracted. A saltwater tank, no, I do not plan on doing saltwater because just what we were just talking about in regards to the hurricanes. I did 52 days without power from Irma last year. If I had a saltwater tank, meltdown in 2 or 3 days. Not even hours. The whole thing would have melted down. The sump would have crashed. The nitrogen cycle would have crashed. And all of the corals would have died. The fish would have died shortly after, within hours. I do freshwater tropical fish because we have lots of problems with electricity, even without a hurricane. And I would not be able to stay. I would not be able to stay in this hobby if I had a saltwater tank. And I'm not gonna. And if I was gonna do saltwater, oh, it would be sick. And my father keeps saltwater aquariums in the States. He has 5 saltwater aquariums in his living room. And yes, if I did saltwater, it would be sick. I would go all the way. It would be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I'd have a house. The tank would be valued as the price of a piece of property. It would be insane. But you know, the moment that thing crashes and the power goes out, even my dad living in Arizona, he had the power go out for 4 hours while he was at work. Came home in the heat of Arizona. Came home, his tank, half of everything was already dead when he came home from work that day. Complete and total crash. Lost every fish, every coral in the tank in 4 hours. So I can't risk that, and I don't want to be heartbroken, let alone out. It's not even about the money in my pockets, it's about living things dying. So no, I do not do saltwater tanks here in the Virgin Islands, and I am not going to do a saltwater tank probably as long as I live here where I have such horrible power, and I do not have some automatic transfer switch with a massive generator. I'm not wealthy enough to have some big 10,000 K generator on an automatic transfer switch. It kicks on and turns on all by itself when the power goes out. That would be different. If I had something like that, it would make sense because I know that the sump would continue to run. But a lot of those bacteria and stuff in a saltwater aquarium and in the sump, as soon as water stops flowing over them, even in fresh water, hang on the back filters, within minutes, as soon as the water stops flowing, some of that bacteria starts to die. It needs the flow and the current to continue to stay alive. So, you know, they say that you should never turn your hang on the back filter off, even on a freshwater aquarium. You should never leave the hang on the back filter turned off, the water not flowing for more than 20 minutes because it can completely crash all the bacteria, all the positive bacteria in the whole ecosystem going on in that filter. Well, mine might be low bandwidth too because Hack Aquarium, I might be low bandwidth too because I went for super low latency to try to keep it clean. All right, Andy, take care. Catch up with me on Facebook or something like that if you want to do something this week. That would be cool, or another week, or whenever, that'd be awesome. Daryl Dimmer, thank you again for your super chats. I do appreciate all of your support. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of months. Aquatic Experience. That's going to be killer, super awesome. About to buy plane tickets. Dila, good to see you. I enjoy your streams and all your awesome posts on Facebook to keep me laughing, as well as your dank Instagram posts. But all right, yeah, people are starting to head out of here. I'm down about 25 viewers, and I'm at 4 o'clock, so I need to hit it. I really appreciate all of you that have hung out and stuck with me this whole time. Keep up with me. These streams are going to get so much better this next week or so as I fine-tune all the technical difficulties I'm having on this side. 54 Punchy, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Potato, I appreciate it as well. Thank you, Potato. I'll check out that message on Facebook. D, I appreciate your stream today. Thank you for sharing, and thanks for hanging out as well. Jesse, I will see you around probably in Big Easy stream if I ever get invited back. Anyways, Jason, you take care. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Appreciate all your support. Thank you to all of you that like, comment, and share on all my content. It means so much to me. And remember, guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.